bailing your clients out of jail. This is the Get Your Ass to Work podcast, episode number 57. Yes, this happened. I get a phone call last summer, and it was a plea for help from somebody who I didn't know, saying that his friend, who was my client, was in jail and needed to be bailed out of jail. Could you please go do that for me? And they were willing to give me the amount of money that it was going to cost to bail him out of jail. They told me where to go and how to do it. I've never bailed anyone out of jail, so I went for it because I thought it was actually interesting. What happened apparently is my client decided to assault a neighbor across the street from him because he was tired of the neighbor constantly doing construction on their house, and there was noise nonstop day in and day out. At first, I kind of thought it was a little frivolous, but actually, to be truthful, there's no reason to assault anyone over this, but at the same time, man, there damn was a lot of noise, and there still is to this day. And the reason I say that is because we just sold his house as we pulled it off the market, put it back out on the market this early February, and it was gone. But anyway, there was a lot of noise. He gets pissed off one day, goes out his front door, decides to hit his neighbor, who starts mouthing off to him, and next thing you know, he's in jail. Well, a few days go by, I hadn't heard from him, and I get a phone call from the neighbor who he hit, who lied to me and said that the client of mine, the guy who hit him, was not in jail, and that he was released, and that he had his dog and all this other stuff, which was crazy because I get a phone call later saying that, hey, can you please bail my friend out of jail? We haven't heard from him, and he made a collect call from us from inside the jail. Can you please go get him? He had no friends or family out here. I'd never bailed anyone out, so I thought this is going to be a fun adventure. So I go down to the bail bondsman, post bail, he gets out, and then nothing really happens after that. But we did put his home back up for sale this year, and it finally got sold. And the reason we're telling this story is because sometimes in real estate, you are going to have to do some weird shit, and you're going to have to be flexible. That's just the bottom line. I do all kinds of weird stuff for my clients. I mean, I'm out helping people on Christmas Eve move stuff out of their house so that they can get it closed. I mean, I've helped people move in the rain, the snow, whatever. People are going to have these problems, and you're going to have to fix them. Basically, that's your job. People have issues. You need to fix them. That's it. When you're new into the real estate business or you don't have a lot of clients, you have to be Gumby in this business. You know Gumby, Pokey, that little stupid cartoon of the green guy who is really flexible? Well, that's what you got to be like when you're in real estate and you're just getting your feet on the ground. Now, this is not necessarily something I'd recommend to anybody. I had no idea what kind of character this guy was as far as if he was going to assault someone else or what was going to happen, but I thought it was kind of fun. Real estate takes you to some weird, strange places, I'll tell you. You meet some interesting people, kind of like, you ever see that show Hoarders? Well, you would not believe how many of those people are out there. It's not like a sort of thing, like maybe there's like this hoarder who lives somewhere in Alaska and you go to his house and he's got stuff piled up all the way to the ceilings. This is all over the place. They are among us, hoarders. And I'll tell you what, you drive by their house and it looks completely normal on the outside. They may even have a gardener that takes care of the lawn. It's not like that spooky, scary house that you saw in like Scooby-Doo where you drive past it and every kid in the block's like, that's the scary house. And inside of it are these like weird looking hoarder people, with yellow teeth and long hair and, nails that'll scratch the face off of a fucking penny. Now, this is like real stuff, right? These people look normal, act normal, and their houses look normal until you go inside of them. And then they're like, hey, thanks for coming over to talk to me about selling my home. Could you come in through the back door around the backyard? And you're like thinking to yourself, oh, okay, why? And then you realize why is because they've got so much stuff that the front door is completely blocked with junk, papers, old food items, pizza box. They just keep everything. They don't throw it out. And I've been in many, many, many of these houses, which is freaking weird. And then you have to tell them the truth, which is you are going to lose tens of thousands of dollars because of the condition of the inside of your home. Really interesting how many of those people are out there. They are all over the place. I've heard from people who they work on the rigs, the ambulance people. They say all the time, first responders, they're like, oh yeah, we've been in like some of the worst houses, animal hoarders. Just dirty living people. Look, if you work by referral only and you've got a good database full of people who, are in luxury market, you probably won't see much of this, but I do because I go after a lot of expired listings, and that's where all the fun is. That's where all the drama is. That's where you get some people who look like they've been living in the hills have eyes, and you go into their house sometimes and you want a tetanus shot upon leaving there. But, there's really no point to this episode. It was just some funny things that happened that I kind of wanted to talk about. But, this guy that we bailed out of jail, we finally did get his house sold. He was more than grateful, as far as him considering me like his best friend and only friend here in the Reno area. Well, you know what? That's awesome, man. Congratulations on getting your home sold. I will see you later because he's moving out of state. So anyway, be Gumby in your business. Be willing to do things other people aren't willing to do. And then one day when you get enough business, you can decide which clients you do or do not want to take. For the most part, I see a lot of new agents, a lot of people new to the business, or a lot of people who don't even have any business but need it, turning down like listings of $80,000 condos because it's not enough money. It's not enough commission check. I'll tell you what, though, this guy may be moving out of the area, the one who just got bailed out of a jail and we closed on his house. He may not be very, very liked in the neighborhood, which is great because I am going to send a letter to every single one of the neighbors who should be praising me at this point and sending me some good baked cookies to my office. Guys, that's all I got for this week. We'll see you on the next episode. And as always, if you guys have any questions, hit me up on Facebook Messenger. It's usually the easiest way to get a hold of me. Daniel Puz. And you guys remember, do your prospecting, don't be lazy, and get your ass back to work.